Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video is about the epic Esper tier list, especially for the beginners player who have been wondering like which epic Esper is more worth to invest in or higher priority to invest in. This is the tier list for you. This tier list is updated to 3.4.6. so if you watch this video after these patches, if they added some new epic Esper, it will not be including in this tier list, right? So why did I want to make this tier list is because I did see some player requested for epic tier list that is updated one in the main Discord, and I do see more beginner player joining Dislyte, and they might get curious like which epic Esper should they invest in and what they are good at. So this tier list today, I'm going to briefly go through every single Esper, what they are good at and what tiers they should belong in. So the tier list here, the first one, the highest priority tier, I will call it at fake legend because they are as good as legendary. It's like this epic Esper, if I'm going to put it in this tier, they are actually better than some of the legendary Esper or even as strong as legendary Esper. Okay, so I will consider them as a fake legend. And then useful here means they are very useful in a lot of different content. They like, let's say Steward is going to be very strong in APAP, and one of the main DPS for APAP at early game until you get someone who is replaceable at the DPS slot, or else he will be very useful in certain content. Then for niche is very less usage for most of the content in the game, but when it comes to his play role, it is very unique. Okay, then for trash here, I would say for me personally, I won't really use him or her at all. Alright, so this tier list here is only based on my own experience, so it might be different than what you think. Alright, but so if you have any different idea, you can feel free to comment down. Let me know which part that you don't agree or I explain it wrongly in your thoughts. Okay? Okay, so the first Esper Alexa. So I used to use Alexa. I even make an Alexa specific video when Celestial Anomaly is still a thing for the damage reflection thing, and because the damage that hit on the one that Alexa put on the keys on them, it reflects the 75% damage back to the attacker, and we only get 25% attack. So it's actually very strong, but you're not going to use Alexa in most of the content. So I would say it's not trash. I would say it's niche because like when it comes to handy, when you need a reflection damage build, Alexa is the only Esper is able to do that. Okay, so I'll put it in niche build. Then Alice is a fake legend because Alice can apply a lot of different buffs like attack up, speed up, crit rate up, and most importantly, Alice can make people assist, even though it's RNG chance. But the assist here, not many Esper is able to provide assist chance in the game. So Alice is definitely worth the fake legend. And then Pandora, I would say, is a fake legend as well. But in endgame, when you have most of the legendary Esper, like when you can clear Temporal Tower and Infinity Tower very easily, then you won't need Pandora anymore. But if you are like an early game player or mid game player who can't clear Infinity Tower or Temporal Tower easy enough, then Pandora is a cheat code, because Pandora can apply a specific unique debuff to actually apply on them, and they will get damage, max HP damage 35%, if not mistaken, 35% or 25%, I forgot. They did some changes for that. So the poison is like, it's kind of work like a poison damage, but it takes max HP damage, like 30% max HP. So you can treat Pandora like a very strong poison effect, but better than poison, something like that. But it's very strong, but you won't use her in a lot of cases when you can clear the tower easily. But if you can't clear, Pandora is a cheat code. And then this guy here, I can't even know his name. I don't even know his name, like Archibald blah 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 thing. I don't know. Not Archibald, okay? I forgot his name, but he's just trash. Alright, I might be wrong, okay? I might be wrong, but so you can tell me. But personally, me, from early game until now, from day one until now, I did not touch him once. Not even once. So I'll just put it in trash, okay? I might be wrong. Then for SNF here, I would say it's very useful, or even go until fake legend if you really want. It's like between here, but it depends on you. So wait, let me think. SNF. yeah, I think it's either a fake legend or useful, because Asenath here can do AoE push, can do AoE healing, and then most importantly, she have a very unique buff when she used the S3 to AP push. Whenever you get hit, the damage will get damage reduction first, and then you also get a healing proc. Okay, so it's very important here. Her buff is very strong as a protective Esper with an AP push. So if you need an Esper who can protect your team and AP push at the same time, Asenath is one of your best pick. But in terms of content, she won't be used in a lot of content, so I would just say it's useful. Then Chloe, I would say, is a fake legend, because Chloe is one of the few epic Esper that is still able to cleave the current meta in PvP. So even though until endgame, if you build your Chloe nicely and you build a team surrounding her, let's say like Abigail, Shenpin, or a lot of buffer that you can, as long as you can keep buffing Chloe, Chloe's damage can even one shot any team in the game now. Okay, not any team, most of the meta team. Even though it's Wu Yu, Chloe still can slice it off. Okay, it really depends on how you build the team around her. So she is very strong, but it is situational. Okay, so I would say it's a fake legend because she is so unique that until now she's still one of the best DPS in epic Esper. She's still one of the best DPS that's able to kill any shimmer in the game now, including Anna. Not a problem. Okay, then for the twins, I'll take these two together. So the twins here I will also put in the fake legend, but the twins have only worth the fake legend when they are two together in a team, because they have a special synergize together when they are in a team. Like when you cast S3, I'll cast S3 as well, and if I cast S2 when I have white twin in my team, my S2 will do extra 2 damage. So it's a very good thing. It's a very good thing. The buff they provide is crit rate up, speed up, AoE is very strong, just that they have to be in a team together. Until now, they are still mainly used in Versatile Fantasy, all 3 bosses, and they are very strong. But if you make them individuals, I will rate the red twin at useful, I will rate the white twin at niche. But if they put in the same team, they are at the same, they'll be a fake legend. Their priority is too high, especially you will see them, mostly people are gonna use him in Sonica, like still no one is able to replace them, something like that. Okay, then for Sinia here, I will say it's gonna be niche. It's like the moment you're gonna use her is because of her sleep. Maybe you're gonna use her in Probator, and other than that, not really, right? So I won't say until useful, but the moment you need a sleep Esper, and we are very limited sleep Esper in the game, then you are able to use Selene. And then for Dalen here, I would say it's niche. I do believe that some players use Dalen in certain content because the buff and debuff he is able to provide is pretty good. So I would say it's a niche, but nothing more to comment about that. Then for, what's her name again? Catherine. Catherine, I would say is useful because she's one of the only replacement to Jin Yao in the current game. Because in terms of the passively dispel debuff in the game, there's only 2 Esper. One is her, Catherine, and the other one is Jin Yao. And the content that you're gonna need as a passive dispel is gonna be Infinity Tower, or it's gonna be in Sonica. So if you don't have Jin Yao, or your Jin Yao is not strong enough, Catherine is your one and only replacement as an alternative. And not just that, Catherine can do some mini AP push and also provide standoff, which is overall pretty unique as well. Then for this guy here, I call him Iceman. I don't even know his name, I'm sorry, but I would say it's trash. It's not like he can provide AoE freeze, is good, but someone can do better, which is Longmian. Okay, we have Longmian here, someone who can do better, so I'll explain to him later. So his skill is like AoE freeze seal, and then he also want to deal extra damage when the enemy is freeze. But when enemy is freeze, when you do extra damage, you also dispel the freeze. Like, what's the point of freezing them then? So I don't really think he's good in any kind of content. If you're in terms of control, there's better Esper that can provide the control, like Longmian, right? So Longmian here, I would say is useful because the speed leader, especially in early game into mid game, Longmian speed leader is very unique to provide to your whole team. AoE freeze, AoE AP down, and S1 can apply speed down debuff as well. It's a very strong controller, especially when you don't have TA or Parami or other Esper for a speed leader. Longmian is gonna be your long-term leader slot. Okay, then for what's this kind? Bonnie. Bonnie, I would say is niche. You can use her in PvP even though it's endgame PvP. She have Dispel, AP down. She have stun. She have AoE damage as well. She have crit rate down, is it, if not mistaken. But overall, you only use her in PvP content, even though until end game. Even though in early game you also use her for Dispel. So if you need the AoE Dispel, Bonnie is one of a pick at the early game. But after you get someone like Nusi or Tricky or Yuran with her definite, with his definite, something that you, as long as you have Dispel already, you don't really need Bonnie anymore. And especially for me, I have Bonnie, but I don't really use Bonnie at all. But I only use Bonnie when I need Dispel, that's all. Then for Dahlia, I would say it's useful because in terms of epic Esper, the only one who can provide AP push, attack up, crit rate up at the same time is only Dahlia. And Dahlia have control from her S2, and S1 is stun as well. So S1, S2 got control and debuff. S3 AP push is a very strong buffer early game. Until end game is still a very strong aggressive buffer, because the buff she is able to provide attack up and crit rate up is very strong for those players who doesn't have a strong buffer, let's say Feng Shun, in the early game. Then for Dijoser, I would say it's useful because Dijoser can provide disease, and a lot of question is like when the new player reach until the hell mode and then you're gonna face a boss, it's gonna be Fabrice, and the Fabrice have a passive that every time he get a hit, he's gonna heal himself. Then you're gonna need a disease character, and Dijoser is one of the few Esper who have disease debuff on his kit. And not just that, that's not the reason why I put him in useful, is because Dijoser also is a very strong DPS in APAP. So in early game to mid game, if you don't have a very strong DPS Esper for APAP, Dijoser is probably one of the main DPS in APAP, especially he also provides defense break. Okay, then for Ira here, I would say Ira is actually a fake legend. It's because Ira here is able to, it's a very strong controller, AoE AP down, and not just that, it's because the S2. So the S2 is called Brysimon Watch, something like that. I forgot the name. So the thing is, when you apply the buff on your Esper, every time your other Esper take a turn, then the one who get the watch buff will also get AP push. So make her very strong at like Shadow Fire, like in a lot of cases, because the S2 itself is also a Dispel, and then S3 is an AoE AP down, and it's very strong AoE AP down, and S1 can gain herself extra turn as well. It's a very strong AP controller and very unique S2 buff as well. It's like it's a bonus AP push, so you can just focus the buff applying on one Esper, and that Esper will just keep on getting AP push, AP push, AP push. So I would say it's a very strong until it's fake legend. I keep using her in Infinity Tower, like when you want to keep controlling the enemy until they can't take their turn. Ira is mostly my main choice, but if you have other Esper that are able to replace her, like TA for AP push and AP swap, then you will only see lower usage in Ira, or else Ira is going to be used in a lot of content. Okay, then for her, I would say it's going to be niche. It's like she does very good buff. I forgot her name. Okay, sorry, I forgot her name. But is it Nicole, if I'm not mistaken, right? She did provide a lot of buff, like invincibility, and also something like standoff or something like revive in a kit, but not worth the investment. Like, you won't really use her in a lot of content, but if you need a content that give AoE invincibility, she's the one and only choice that able to apply AoE invincibility. Then for Yushu here, definitely a fake legend, or even better than certain legend as well. Like, the moment you fulfill the condition, your ally have at least 3 buff, and when they take the action, Yushu will follow up with her S1, and this S1 is a multi-hit, and it's a very pain damage as well. The damage is not low, even though after the nerf, we are so mad with the nerf, but after that I realized that actually the nerf is needed, because without the nerf, Yushu is even more broken than the Yushu we saw in game now. So And I totally agree that you should the time you should get nerfed is a fine nerf, because until now Yushu is still very actively in PvE and also in PvP content. She is one of the main counter to Anna as well. She can one-shot Anna. Okay, then for Fabrice here, I would say it's going to be useful because of the AP push, because of the aggressive buff he is able to provide, and invincibility, right? He can heal, he can buff, and then he can provide invincibility, which is very, very strong, especially when you don't have a single target AP pusher like Abigail. Okay, so it's a very strong buffer in early game if you don't have. Then for Falcon, is actually a fake legend because he have a speed leader, and this speed leader is universal, which is very good, 20% universal speed leader, and he have a very unique buff, which is the Eye of Horus. So this Eye of Horus, every time you damage on the target who have this debuff, then the enemy will keep gathering this buff on the debuff, and then the debuff, the moment the debuff gone, then you explode the damage. Then this damage is all the damage you deal on the boss, accumulate 25%. It's very strong, the debuff is very unique. And not just that, he also do AP down, attack down and speed down debuff to the boss, which is very, very strong, very unique kit. You will still see a lot of endgame player using Falcon in certain situations and certain bosses as well. Then for Hengye here, I would say it's useful because in early game, not really many healer is gonna have clans, unless you are talking like legendary, like Clara, all those things. But in terms of epic Esper choices, Hengye is the one of the few Esper who have dispel, AoE dispel, and also AoE heal at the same time. And also, it's dispel the debuff, and then the S1 is dispel people's buff, and then AoE heal. So it's one of the few Esper who can do that in epic Esper. Okay, we are not talking about the legendary Esper. Then for this guy here, I would say it's either niche or trash. You want him, Jacob, right? You just want him to apply the poison, but in terms of poison, there's someone else actually does better. So I would say it's trash here. But when you need someone who want to apply poison, he's one of the pick. But I won't recommend him a lot, okay, to be honest. Then for Jiangman, I would say it's a fake legend because until now, Jiangman is still one of the best AoE damage Esper in the game, even though until end game now, he is basically Embla, but epic version. She can apply bleach, she can apply the blossoming bloom, something like that, and then you trigger it and then it deals AoE damage. It's one of the best DPS you can have in early game until end game. Very few Esper can replace her in terms of AoE damage that can spread damage. That's very few Esper that can replace Jiangman. So in terms of the novice support you have in the early game, Jiangman is your first pick. Among everyone, pick Jiangman. Definitely a game changer. Then for Kara, it's useful. Kara is one of the best poison dealer in the game. It's even better than Ife in a way, and the poison amount she's able to deal is very good, and including AP down as well. So you can consider her as a sub DPS by poison wise. It's very strong in hell mode because in hell mode, the enemy bosses, their HP is like very, very big gap. So poison is one of the best DPS way to actually deal to the boss, and Kara is one of the best poison dealer in the game. If we don't compare to Hilda, Kara is actually one of the best. Then for, what's this called again? Kaylee? Is it Kaylee? I don't really use her at all, so I'll say put trash. I don't really use her, and I don't really see anyone is using her. Okay, then this one is called Laura, is it? Laura is very niche. When you need a shield Esper, the shield amount she's able to provide is very, very big. The shield is so tanky, and then she can, every time you break the shield, she's gonna counter attack with a S1. This is guaranteed, and then the S1 here can silence you. And I do see her position. If Laura, they actually change her position into defender, she's gonna be OP because her plus Wuyu in the future, let's say they put her in defender, it's gonna be very annoying. But let's not discuss about that. Just the amount of shield she's able to provide, the silence she's able to do is actually just very strong. Okay, but I'll put it in niche because there's more Esper that can replace her. But if you want a shield Esper and silence, she's the only choice. Then for Li Guang, I would say it's useful because she's still one of the best DPS in Desolate Land, the one that needed Li Guang as the element, the wind type element, and also one of the best DPS for Fafnir as well for early game until mid game, even until end game. Li Guang probably is still one of your best DPS. She have AP push, multi-hit, high damage as well, and the damage scaling is based on speed, and she can self AP push from S1 as well, is very good, and her S2 can also dispel. One of the best DPS for Epic Esper. Then this one here, what is his name again? I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, but I would say it's trash or maybe niche, somewhere here. But because this tier list is based on my own experience, I would say it's trash. But he's actually able to do AoE silence, which is pretty annoying. But in terms of usage, I don't really use him at all in any of my content. So, but the player who have used him, I will say is go up to niche. But for my own command, I will say it's trash. Then for Lin Xiao here, I will say it's niche. Like Lin Xiao used to be a fake legend. Lin Xiao used to be here, but after some not some changes on her, it's more DPS like Gaius. Gaius is actually her replacement. So Lin Xiao is no longer the DPS in the game now, but she can actually be easy to build because she doesn't need crit rate. She can have self guarantee crit from her skill, and then she can do AP down and also bleed. In last time, there's a certain trial event we actually need Lin Xiao as the main DPS. So I would say it's a niche. Not until trash. Her DPS output is still pretty decent if we just compare around the Epic Esper. But if you have someone replacement like Gaius or Leora, then Lin Xiao just fall off instantly. Then for Mona here, I would say is niche. It's like early game when you have Mona is going to be one of your main DPS, but after that, you'll start using Mona just because you want to pair Mona with Jiangman to proc the Nether Bloom easier, because the Nether Bloom need 5 hit, and Mona's S3 AoE damage actually does a lot of hit, and it will help Jiangman's proc the seed a lot more faster. So the Mona is gonna be niche. Only that kind of situation, you want to proc Jiangman's seed faster, you're gonna need Mona. Then for Meredith is actually the fake legend, because Meredith can apply AoE speed up. She her S1 can dispel enemy buff and is multi-hit. And then S2 can dispel, is it? I don't know if there's this dispel, but I know the S2 will heal and then apply crit rate resist and also defend up, which is very strong. And then the S3 also deals true damage. It's not like really true damage, but it's based on max HP true damage that can be used in Andras, and also she have a speed leader that is universal. Is it universal or ritual only? So the speed leader can be also used in Falsetto Fantasy. It's still one of the best choice that you can have in Dark Starlord. And in early game to mid game, she can be a DPS as well because the S3 is very high damage. So it's totally worth the grind from the world chat. For those early and mid game players who are still looking for Meredith, totally worth it. Still very strong. It's still very universal choice for most of the content. Then for this girl here, I forgot her name, but she's gonna be very useful. I forgot her name, but she's able to nuke Fafnir, one of the main DPS for Fafnir as well. Like other than Li Guang, your other choice is gonna be her. AoE damage, very pain, and she gave herself sustained shield as well. Then for Louis is also useful. They are like these 3 gang here is one of the main DPS for Fafnir. Multi-hit, and also Li Guang here, sorry, not Li Guang. Louis here also deals very strong damage in Sonica as well, because of the multi-hit, and Sonica needs a lot of multi-hit. And Louis also deals bleed. Also overall, it's a very strong DPS until end game. So if you're a new player who are looking for a very strong DPS that can use until end game as an Epic Esper, Louis is one of the best choice for you. Your investment won't be wasted. Then for this guy here, I forgot his name as well. Okay, if not mistaken, it's going to be Loyan. I would say it's niche because you don't really need Loyan in a lot of content anymore. We used to use Loyan in a lot of content because of the max HP reduction to cheese the boss. Like the boss is very high HP, then we're going to use Loyan to keep reducing the boss max HP cap, and then we kill them. But currently we have a lot of strong legendary Esper that's able to outcome that part there. So Loyan no longer is that needed anymore. But if one day they're gonna there's another content that is a very strong content that we're gonna need to reduce the boss max HP cap. Lorian is going to be your choice. Lorian can heal, Lorian can reduce the enemy max HP cap. So the moment the boss HP reduced to 50% of the max HP cap, which means you only need to deal the boss 50% HP only. So it's very strong, but not really that useful anymore. Then she is just a material for us to do in the Esper fusion, not really much needed, so I'll just say trash. Then for Prisker here, definitely a fake legend, like AoE stun, AoE CD up, and multi-hit. So the stun is not just one chance, it's multi-chance, it's 3 times. So you can, and the CD up is actually after casting, if you stun, then every upcoming stun will CD up. So the CD up is very annoying, the stun is very annoying, and then the S1 also have AP down and a stun chance as well. Very overall, he definitely worth the fake legend here. Then for Rancy here, I would say it's gonna be useful. Not in PvP, but if you are in early game, Rancy is one of your main pick in Sonica. If you don't have Yushu R6, because if you just joined the game recently and you missed the Yushu event, you can only slowly collect Yushu's Esper from the event shop, 1 copy by 1 copy. It's going to be a very long time. So if you don't have Yushu R6, Rancy is probably your main DPS for Sonica cases. Yeah, but only in Sonica. But overall, I will still rate him higher than Niche. Then for Sander, I will rate him at useful because the speed leader Sander have for Ritual Miracle, and Sander can be used in early game or bosses other than Fafnir, and Andras can be used in APAP and Chronos. Then slightly go to mid game, Sander is one of your main DPS for APAP as well, until you have someone who can deal AP down and high damage enough to kill APAP, or else Sander is one of your best choice. Same goes for Stewart. Stewart and Sander is like their buddies at early game to mid game to kill APAP. So like in early to mid game, these 3 Esper is actually the best choice for you to form an APAP team. Okay, but when you have other Esper that is a better DPS, when you get someone Inferno, let's say Rooster, let's say Embla, let's say Haley, then maybe you'll slowly slot them down. But or else in early game to mid game, these 3 is still the best, and not to mention Stewart is still able to use in Falsetto Fantasy, the Probator boss, and Sander can be also used in Sander can also be used in Falsetto Fantasy main DPS slot as well. Then for Taylor, I would say it's niche because Taylor is still one of the few Esper that have the unique effect that when Taylor killed the Esper will not get revived. So it's something like the Tavers effect as well. Actually, Tavers stole the effect from Taylor. The Taver copied it. So Taylor is still going to be niche because in early game, if you want to kill someone in PvP and you don't want them to revive it, Taylor is the one and only choice. Then for Xiao Yin here, it's going to be useful here because it's still going to be the main DPS in Chronos until end game. Even though until end game, if you don't have a very strong DPS, Xiao Yin is still your main DPS for Chronos until Chronos 20. You are still able to use Xiao Yin. Then for Koharu, it's going to be trash. Overall on paper, it's going to be strong, but in terms of usage, not really. Then this Shimmer Esper here is going to be trash. It's like I don't use him at all, even though like AoE silence, CD up as well. Okay, maybe niche because sometimes like in certain PvP, especially in knockout, there's a special buff which is every hit can do true damage, right? So AoE multi-hit that can silence, and then with the knockout buff to apply true damage, she's actually pretty good. So maybe niche, not until trash. Then for Jinhee, I would say it's gonna be niche because her stun is very unique. The stun can counter Anna as well, and then she can grant random buff for her team, and then she can AP down, she can CD up, she can stun. Overall, it's a very strong Esper on paper, but in terms of usage in the overall epic Esper, not really that strong. But if you really want a single target stun Esper that you want to stun him forever, she's the choice. Jinhee is the choice. Like I even make a showcase for Jinhee as well to infinity stun Anna. Like just cast S3 on Anna, then keep trolling base on Anna until Anna die. Very strong overall, but only certain situation. Then for Daylon here, I would say it's going to be useful, especially in Calamity Tower and like Infinity Tower as well. Like Daylon's stun is very good, but yeah, only stuns. But if you have Prisker, use Prisker, then Daylon can go down. Then for Parmy here, I would say it's a fake legend because Parmy have a speed leader. Parmy S3 is very annoying as well because it's either you get stunned or you get sleep. That's so either one is a control skill, so you can't resist it unless you are like Hide or like Muyu, that the Esper that cannot get control 100%. And then Parmy got also AP down. Parmy also get healed, if not mistaken, from the S1. And Parmy used to be my speed leader for most of the content, combined with Longmian until end game. Until I get like TA, something like that, then I only replace Parmy. Overall, Parmy is still very, very strong. Uday is basically the fake legend of Nusi. If you don't have Nusi and you're able to get Uday R6, but for current new player, I don't think you can do that unless you go until beat bout 7000 score. But the moment you can reach beat bout 7000 score, I believe you already doesn't need Uday at all. So Uday used to be a free Esper. We are able to get until R6, and Uday can reset skill, can dispel, can apply attack up, can S1 is AP up, is it? Random 1 AP up. Overall, she's very strong in her kit, but because the current few patches, the devs put Uday in the beat bout, which is a stupid move in my opinion, because in beat bout you need 7000 score to get Uday R6, but the player who can achieve beat bout 7000 score, they don't really need Uday anymore. So it's more like an achievement thing for them now. It's no longer usable as well for most of the player who missed the Uday event. Okay, then for Ain here, I would say it's going to be useful. It's a very good shield Esper in Fafnir, multi-hit, extra damage, and the shield is pretty good in Fafnir as well. That's all. So it's only used in Fafnir, but overall, it's a very good shield Esper. Then for Aloline here, I would say is niche. Like if you need a bleed Esper, Aloline is the one of the few only choice who can apply bleed, right? So I would say it's a niche. Then this clown furry Esper here is gonna be niche as well. When you want certain Esper that can do follow-up attack pursuit every time you cast S1, and then have stun, have AoE stun, and then doesn't steal your turn because she don't get AP at all, it's gonna be very good. Like one of the event trial will use her to push the AP, but yeah, when only you need the certain content. Then for Rabbit here, I would say is Rabbit here. Okay, maybe I'll rate her useful is because in PvP, in early to mid game, maybe this Rabbit Emma is still one of your best DPS in PvP at early to mid game, but she kind of get replaced pretty fast when you have certain legendary now, because we have other legendary that works better now, and she needs Hengyue in the same team to work, to be strong. Okay, so okay, maybe I'll put it niche, because in terms of usage, she's not really that much usage, but she can only be used in PvP. Other than PvP, I don't think PvE people are going to use her at all, right? So I would say it's niche. Then for Sachiko, definitely a fake legend, and if you grind enough in Point War to a certain tier for the reward, and then in story stages as well, you're able to get Sachiko R6, and then Sachiko R6 is the best, or even one of the best if you put her in legendary, because the CD reduction from her S2 as S3 is broken. The passive that makes the Inferno Esper deals extra 30% damage is broken. The passive that makes people take their turn, the moment they take their turn, they're gonna get crit rate up, is broken. It's so smooth, and then the S1 got stunned, and then the Definite can make her AP push by herself, and then she provides attack up, she provides speed up, she provides AP push. One of the best, man. So cute, so strong, so useful, and fake legend. Then for Yalina here, I would say it's gonna be niche. Is like she's strong, but you only use Yalina when you're trying to fight enemy R6 lane or the certain tower like Infinity Tower, when the Infinity Tower effect is every time the enemy get healed, then every time enemy get hit, then they will heal. Then this come into Yalina's effect. So every time they heal, Yalina will give them a Promise Breaker stack. Then Yalina can Infinity cast S3, which is very strong, but only when the certain condition, like Infinity Tower condition. So overall, it's a niche Esper. It's not like until very useful overall. But sometimes you do see me use Yalina for certain PvP content because enemy have R6 lane. It's a very interesting Esper, but doesn't work in most of the content. Then Mei here, just trash. Nothing much to say about her. Right, so overall, this is going to be the tier list for my Epic Esper overall usage here. So if you skip the part that I analyzed until the back of the video here, if you don't understand which part of the Esper, before you comment, make sure you go back to the middle, maybe you skip through to the back to see what I explained for that Esper and why did I put it at that tier. Alright, so this tier list is based on my own experience and my own point of view. Okay, so I hope this Epic Esper tier list able to help you guys out who just joined Dislyte, or the one who still wondering which Epic Esper is still very good or worth to invest in for the returner as well. Right, so hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. And special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is JenMP, Rosas15, Mokut Rajili, and the Bluest Chulane, thank you so much for the support. And for the supporter and patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Code Wilderness, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwaltz, Rimu, Choni, Von Hexa, Luxley, Rawson Bessie, Antonio Winterspoon, and Merlin Williams, thank you so much for the support. And special thanks to everyone who have been supporting me for 4 months and 2 months and 1 month straight. So hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.